So there's two ways you can do sleep and wake on this one. Do it from here, or you can do it from the button, or you can close the lid. The sleep from here. Left hand side will be off. Now you see that it's flashing slowly. It's just like the windows. So you can close the lid. It should come back. There you go. See that? By the way, this one's running from the external USB with USB-C and everything, and it can still sleep and wake. That means the USB port is working perfectly. So now let's do the close the lid. So let's see how long it will take this guy to go to sleep, even with the power on. See? Now it's sleeping with the closed lid very nicely. So important thing is this, when we open this up, all the power should be on, all the USB. And make sure the prevent power is unchecked if you want to close the lid with the ACs on. So if the laptop working perfectly, after wakes, the Bluetooth should be on, the AirDrop supposed to be on, accept. So I'm sending 3 video. Okay, the sound should work. So that's called a perfect system. Okay, so when you're at Clover, and if you hit F4, it will generate the SSDT and DSDT for the original laptop. DSDT and SSDT on the original folder for you. First boot it up without the DSDT patch. You won't have the battery. And when we hit the F4 on the Clover, we will have the ACPI at origin with all the DSDT and SSDT. So we have to select the one that we need to use. So the SSDT is number 1. So let's look. So SSDT on this one, they have SSDT 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So what we're going to do is that we're going to take them out. $10? Yeah, 10. I'll call it original ACPI. And this is the MacBook Pro 13.2. This one is the Skylark i7-6600U. Okay, so what we're going to do, we want to move it outside. So now when we have this, we need to have IASL, the latest one, Mac IASL. Alright, so this one I use from Rehab Man 131, and this one is an old version. Is that we can copy the IASL to the bin, then we can always use it. Alright, so but for Catalina, we have to unlock everything. The gatekeeper, disable the gatekeeper. Alright. Okay, so now we can copy sudo cp. We're gonna take this IASL to usr bin. Okay, so now it's in. Now we need to disassemble DSDT and SSDT. So what we're going to do is that we're going to cd into this folder. Alright, so we do ls, we see all of them in there. So what's next? We need to head over to rehabman DSDT patch. Oh, and I connect to the internet. Now we have internet. So we need to disassemble everything. If we open Mac IASL, we compile, we'll have tons of errors. DSDT1, compile, it's okay.
1, compile, okay.
2, compile, tons of errors, right? So what we're going to do is this. You're going to have to disassemble it correctly. This one right here, this is the list of rehabman. This one, if you do all of them, it's pretty much okay. So we're going to Alt and the C. Then we're going to do the paste. So PB paste. So PB paste refs.txt. Okay. So now, if we look in here, we see the ref text, and we open it. All of these are in there, right? You can pick and choose the one that you want, but just do all. It will be okay. It won't hurt anything. So now we're going to disassemble it. You see this one here? So now we look inside here, we will have all of these. Disassemble. So now DSDT, we open, we compile. DSDT2, compile, no error. You're going to compile all of these and save them as the compiled version. So I'm going to save this one. Save as machine language. Okay, so we don't need all the one in the back, so we just say .aml. First, we need to set this up. So, preference, light, whatever, IASL 6.1. You can enable optimized messages. Now, the source. So we go back in here. Okay, we go here. We're going to copy this one. Copy link. And And now we're going to go back to MASL. We're going to add okay. So this is what we need. By the way, the Lilu Open Core website, they have the new Mac IASL, which include all of these already. You can use that one. So we're going to open it. So now if you open this one, you will see source. So the source, they already include everything in here, so it's good to use it. Let's open with now when we open this, what do we want to patch? We don't want to patch a lot, okay? So this one happened to be the one from 1.57. This is from the Lilu group. So let's go to Rehab Man. One thing I don't like this because you have to go all the way down, right? So this one's not good. For some reason it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open with the original one. Reason why we need to make a copy. So I'm going to duplicate this one again. So remember, newer doesn't mean better. So use the one that works. Let's rename this one again. ORG. Okay, so let's do this. Now we're going to patch again using the original Rehab Man MASL Elite 2. So make sure the see, it's 77 changes. We're going to apply, close, file, save as. See, this one worked perfectly, the other one doesn't work. So we're going to do bat one, that means the first patch of the original DSDT, so DSL, right? So from this one we're gonna patch. All we need to do is to patch the wick, all right, nothing else. So fix wicks 2, apply. So this is for sleep and wake. Save as, not that one anymore. It's going to be wake 2.dsl. Okay, so we remember what we did. So now we're going to patch instant wake if you don't have this one. This one is a 6, so we don't know. It's a Skylake, right? But we have to see they have 0D and 6D. So if we click 0D first, and then we have to look at the before. So the before is 6D, so that means not 0. So we're going to do Skylake 6D. So for some reason, Rehab Man has a special one for the Skylake. So this one have 10 changes, so we have to check again. So it's 6D, so it's correct. So we're going to apply, save as 6D3. This is the third time DSL. So now we're going to save this one as machine language .aml. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use for the battery and the sleep and wake without instant wake. Okay, so let's look back in here. we're gonna take this one and put into our. So now we have all of this. So normally what I do is I mark them. So alternate A, make them all green. So now all we need to do is to get the SSDT for power management, right? So I use the old-fashioned way. So I use SSDT PR generation. So I have a video on that, so look at it. So I'm gonna go, so this one, oh, this one doesn't have it, so I can do it here, so that's fine. So look at this. If you want to see, this one doesn't have a library into the account. So what we need to do is to view, show view option, and show library folder. Okay. Now you see the libraries here. So let's go to SSDT or Gen. So Pike Alpha. Open a terminal. Just follow here. Alternate C. Alternate V. So we're going to change mod. Alternate C. Alternate V. So do the same thing here. Alternate C. Alternate V. So we're going to do the second one. Alternate C. This one will copy into the library. So move. Alternate C. Alternate V. So I'm not going to remove the PR gen zip. So what we need to do is that I'm going to do this one without the edge. Now let's look at the folder, okay? Library. Now we should have the folder here already. So I'm going to run. So right now we have the DSDT. So this one is for our system here, i7 6600U, and the maximum is 3.4 gig, and the base frequency is 500 only. Okay, so it's good. So I'm going to rename this one. This is a Pro 132 13.2, so I'm going to do SSDT 13.2, and I'm also mark it green. So I'm going to copy this one, Alternate V. So now I have the whole thing working. So let's put into my Clover. This is open core. So ACPI. You see, I have DSDT original 6D3. That's all I patch. I have SSDT 132 AML, okay, and other stuff. So I'm going to show you how to patch the SSDT-UIAC-ALL. Alright, so let's patch that also. So now we're going to go to Rehab Man. So if you go here, you will look at it and you will see this one. Alright, So he put everything in here already. So what we're going to do, click raw, save as. So we're going to rename this, delete this web archive, alright, UDSL. Alright, so now we're going to patch this one. So let's stop. Open this up. So we need I/O Registry Explorer. I'm going to open I/O Registry Explorer. So we're going to search for USB. We need to open the original DSDT that we extracted. So let's look at the original DSDT. So first, alternate F. We want to look for ESC. There's none. So that means there's no 2.0. So HSC. I'll go to the HSC right here. And then we're going to go to R hub. So inside the R hub, let's look at the I/O registry. So we search for USB. So you see a 9D2F. So primary match is 9D2F, right? So if you look at 9D2F, so this whole thing here, we don't have any. There, 9D2F. You see that? So we're going to keep that one. So we're going to delete everything else. HS01 connector 3. So right here is connector 3. It's correct. Alright. The second one, not the first one, okay. HS02 also 3. So connector 3. So number 3, we don't have anything. So we don't have the USB connector. So then we're going to look at I/O registry. Connector 3. So if you look in here, it's FF. It's internal. So we're going to use FF. So that's why we need to use both I/O registry and the original one. So connector 3 is 255. So let's do number 4. Number 4 is also FF. Number 5, there's none. So we're going to look at I/O registry, and let's look at number 5. It's A. So we do exactly as the I/O registry say. 0 times A. We can mix them up and they will straighten it out by itself. So number 6 is FF. So it's very important we have to do it right. FF is 255. So that's it. So we're going to delete this one, add a file. So we're going to save as UIAC-132.DSL, and we're going to save as .AML. Okay, so we're good. So we compile and see 0. So now we have the USB for our particular model. Our newly created USB. So with this one, we don't need USBX.AML, the generic one. So make it into a green one. Okay, so now we have all of our DSDT and SSDT that will work perfectly, sleep, wake, and everything for our system. So what we need to do is put all of these into the ACPI folder. All of the file in green here we put in here. Look at the config file. Okay, so let's look at the config file. So what do we add? We add the one we just did. Now we enable it to yes. Before you enable to no. Alright? So now we do it to yes. We use SSDT PNLF is for the backlight. Okay? And then we're going to list all of our SSDT that we compile 0, 1, 2, 3 all the way to 8. And we put, instead of using the plug, we use our SSDT PL generation so we can get the power management here. So I like to use the original one that created for my system, so the sleep wake will be good. Okay, so if you want to do something, it's gonna jump up to 3.4. Let's do something. So you go to 3.1 now. You go to Apple. You go to 3.4. See that? So it's called a speed step that's working. You want to make sure that we have the EC-USB-X for Catalina to boot. The last one is UIAC. This one is for the USB port. So when we plug in all of the USB, even with the USB-C, so I'm going to plug in a USB-C now. So when you do it correctly, all the USB power port, doesn't matter if it's hard drive or not, you won't see that you need power.